Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Jared Glant here on the Cardone Zone. Thursdays means it's Young Hustlers time. So, super excited to be here today. We are getting closer and closer day by day to the 10X Growth Conference. Really excited about the event this year. Grant and I were just talking the other day about it, and we both agree that without a doubt, like every year we've done the event, there's been something like unique about it. We felt good about it. But looking back, we know for sure that this one will be the best yet. We're super excited about it. Like all the stuff that we're planning around this, the structure of the event itself, the speakers that we're having. I mean, this is going to be a lot of education and information, strategies, real actionable stuff. So we're super excited about the event this year, and without a doubt, we think it's going to be the best one yet. So another thing we're really excited about is, for the first time, we're sold out. Like we're practically sold out. So let me just clarify. We've got about 216 tickets left in all the various sections out of 11,000. So we're like 98% of the way done, which is super exciting for us because we got to sell the event out, like a month ahead of time. So compared to the events that we've done previously, that's pretty exciting because, when you're trying to sell 34,000 tickets like we did last year, it was, selling tickets literally the week of the event. The year before that, we were still trying to figure the event thing out, so it was super stressful. But, we're pumped because this year we hit some early milestone targets, and we only have 2 sections of seating available. The diamond seats are oversold, so we're just kind of waiting to have people cancel or no-show or whatever to give their seats up. Premier, that section's oversold as well. The executive section is completely sold out. General admission is oversold, so just handful of seats left. The best opportunity we have right now for you is going to be our VIP seats. You can see a little pop-up over here. VIP seat will include a room for you at the Mandalay Bay Hotel, where we'll be for all 3 days. Having everybody at the same hotel is pretty amazing. So super excited about the event. Can't wait to see a lot of you there. This is the one event every year we look forward to all year, and we get to spend 3 days. We get to meet a ton of you and learn how to earn and have a great time together. So super excited to see you guys there in Las Vegas, 10xgrowthcon.com. Get your seats today because they will sell out. So, show today. A lot of people ask all the time. Job questions are probably the most common questions that I get on Instagram or when people email me or whatever. How do you identify what the perfect job is? And so I want to kind of spend the show today deconstructing what the perfect job is. And for me, I think that I can look at what I've done with Grant and the opportunity that I had, at 36 years old to become the president of the company. I've been with him for almost 10 years, making tons of money, more money than people that are, twice my age. I guess at this point that'd make them 70. So I don't know if they're still working, but I made a lot of money really young, and it was because I got into the perfect job. And so that's what I want to talk to you today. I want to talk to you about 4 key characteristics that you can look for in the perfect job so that you can put yourself in a position like me where you can get up to earning a 7-figure income way before most anybody would tell you it's possible. And frankly, you got to have these ingredients in the right position, and you got to have the right opportunity to even create a 7-figure opportunity for yourself. So, trait number 1 of the perfect job: the company has to be doing between like $2 and $5 million a year. And the reason that this is important is because the business has to be viable. You see jobs getting posted on Craigslist and, some of these other places, how people get connected with jobs. And you're like, well, how does, what's my job security here? Like, what's really the thing that's going to keep me there, make sure that if something bad happens, we can weather the storm and the business doesn't go under. But at the same time, you have to have something that's small enough so that you can get in and create an extreme amount of value in your role and negotiate a good deal based on the future growth of the company, but on the value of the business today. And so this is exactly what I did. When I came to work for Grant, the company was doing about $2.5–3 million a year. And I was able to come in as a salesperson and get in early, learn the product, learn the process, learn how the company works, have a lot of proximity and access to Grant, and then just came in and did what I had to do, which was just slay it. Like, you have to crush it. The perfect job isn't going to yield the perfect opportunity if you don't do your part and crush it. So you have to find a company that kind of fits that mold of $2 to $5 million a year. They're not so big that you're going to have a really long runway to get into a role of position or power, influence, or money. But you have to have something that's viable so that you're not worried if they're going to make payroll every month. So $2 to $5 million is really the first characteristic that you want to look for. The second thing that you have to be willing to accept in a small company is much more responsibility. I believe one of the reasons why I was as successful as I was is because I came into an organization that was small enough. We didn't have a ton of employees. We had like 5 or 6 employees when I started. And that put me in a position to accept responsibility for a lot of the things that were going on around me. It started out as a phone thing, and then a sales thing, and then figuring out how to support customers, and then I had to hire people. I was a sales guy hiring salespeople. Like, I wasn't even a manager. I just started bringing people in. Like, I saw, because I got in and I crushed it, number one, there started to be new problems created around me that at the time I was the person who was going, okay, hey, well, we need to start fixing some of these problems because we're bringing on so many customers that I can't support them all by myself and still run out. So we need to create this department over here to help support the customers. And then it was starting to work all these things together. And because I got in where we didn't have a lot of these people, I was wearing multiple hats. And so some people think of multiple hats as a distraction. Some people think of multiple hats as a bad thing, like, oh, they're trying to take advantage of you. Dude, like, more responsibility, multiple hats is the biggest advantage that you have because you can create a lot of value. You can create a lot of attachment to you, between you and the company, because of the value that you provide, because you have all this intimate knowledge of how the business works and you're able to do a lot of different things. Grant used to always say this thing. He was like, you can either be dependent on a company or a company can be dependent on you. And really you want to have a powerful position enough to negotiate a good deal when the time comes. You need to be in a position where the company is actually dependent on you. Now, in a small company, $2 to $5 million a year, a really strong employee, a company can be dependent on. A strong employee in a company that small could be worth $2 or $3 million a year. So you got to think like, wow, how do I get in and become so valuable? I accept responsibility. I'm wearing multiple hats. I'm filling in and I'm being great, which again, you have to be great in order for this to work. So that means you got to be committed, you got to be all in, you have to kind of make the sacrifices early on like I did, give up a lot of the personal life things and just kind of go all in to work and get obsessed with it. This is the formula to follow if you want this thing to pay off. So then you're accepting responsibility for a lot of the things that are going on. You're wearing multiple hats, and now they're like, shit, I would need to hire 3 people to replace Jared if he were to ever leave. Okay? So this is where you actually start getting into a position where the value placed on you by the owner starts increasing, particularly if you can start removing them from the business in the sense that, my target was always, I don't want Grant to have to get on a sales call. I don't want Grant to have to get involved in deals. I don't want to have Grant do launch calls from Skype. I don't want to have to rely on Grant for anything to grow the business. That was inside mentally, that was my target because I knew that if Grant was required to get deals done and if Grant was required to grow the business and I couldn't do that on my own, then forever the business would be attached to Grant. And so for me in my head, I was like, hey, that's a problem that I can solve. And if I can continue to solve that problem, there's going to be a lot more value created in the role that I have. You know, again, if the company's doing $15 million a year, $20 million a year, and there's 40 or 50 employees, now coming in, there's a little bit more you have to work with. Again, because I got in at the right time, you know, $2.5 million a year, 6 employees, I could come in and be a big difference maker and start bringing some of my greatness into the company, provide great, you put a great employee with a great opportunity in a great company and you bring them together, and then that's when the magic happens. Third thing you gotta have in the perfect job is the owner has to be willing to grow. Like the owner has to want to grow. If you are in a company that's doing $2 to $5 million a year, you've gotten more responsibility, you're wearing multiple hats, you're bringing a lot to the table, but the owner isn't willing to grow. The owner isn't willing to push the chips in to go to the next thing. The owner isn't willing to continue to fund to hire people, then again, you're gonna be in a position where the value of the company doesn't get to a point where whatever the deal you work out ends up being, the value of the company isn't growing fast enough to have the big score. So, you know, you have to have somebody that's willing to push all the chips in and continue to reinvest in the business and continue to reinvest in you. And you know, for me, Grant was like, he was like all in. He was like, anything that I asked him, any decision that that needed to be made, that was around growing the business, changing the product, changing the offer, doing this deal, not doing that deal. Like the decision was always, are we going to grow the business? And if it does, then yes. And it was almost like the details didn't even matter. He was willing to like let me fail doing something because it was going to grow the business. And so you have to have somebody in place. Your owner, the business owner has to be wanting to grow in order for you to secure that position for yourself. The fourth thing that you need in the perfect job is you need the opportunity to learn a lot of different things. Because if you come into an opportunity, if you come into the opportunity and you're not learning more, you're not expanding more, you're not continuing to create the opportunity for you to get more and more value from the organization, then you're shortchanging it. So the paycheck working for Grant isn't the only form of compensation I get. You know, the forms of compensation I get are great environment. Forms of compensation I get are learning how these different elements and aspects of the business work. A form of compensation that I have is learning how to handle employees and because of the responsibility that I have. That's all compensation. You know, and that compensation could be worth just as much, if not more, than the income I'm being paid, right? Like that could be, you know, if in a freak world, I was working for Grant and then he said, you know, Jared, I don't like you anymore. Get out of here. Go on, do your own thing. Dude, I could take the information that I've learned here and I can go use that to do something else that could be, you know, I don't know, hopefully it would replace my income here, but like I know that I can go feed myself in a way that puts me above the average person. I know that it would allow me to do things that would allow me to make money. Like, so I'm creating more value in the role that I have, in the job that I have, because I'm learning a lot of new things. You have to be able to look for these things. Like if you want the perfect job, it's not just the check. Because the check is one dimension of your compensation. Like the other dimensions of your compensation you need to be aware of, otherwise you'll never maximize the position that you're in. So people bitch and whine and moan and complain about, oh, I'm not getting paid enough. Yeah, well, what about all the other stuff you're learning here? Like the company is providing you an opportunity to learn. Now, if you don't realize it and you don't take it, that's on you, not on the business owner. You know, you got to come in and be willing to look for multiple opportunities, like my man Mike Schill. He's constantly looking for opportunities. You know, he's coming in, he's trying to find like I want to come in, I want to sell training, I want to help companies. Hey, but what's going on with this Cardone Ventures thing, man? I want to go over there and figure out how to help businesses in a different way. I want to help customers in the automotive space with our new automotive offer. Like he's looking for more opportunities. He's not just sitting in the thing that he is doing now and accepting that that's all he's going to get. Dude, the guy's a freaking winner. He's looking for more opportunities all the time. My man. So like you have to have your eyes open to maximize an opportunity, because what the company provides you is only half of the equation of the perfect job, like in forms of compensation. Like the other part of the perfect job is you bringing your greatness, your skills, and then also the awareness to come in and actually find out how else you can add more value into the role based on what you're getting from working there. Like everybody that works here, we've got 180 employees here, and every single person here has such an amazing opportunity. Like when they get their check every month, they should at least double it or triple it, because Grant allows people the opportunity to take more responsibility and to get involved in more things. It's up to them whether or not they take it or not. But they're making at least 2 or 3 times what they actually get paid in experience and opportunity to learn. But if they don't choose it, then they're just collecting a check. And some people here are doing that. Like some people are just here showing up, collecting a check because it's a job. It's okay. I get it. I've been there before. But if you want to find the perfect job, you got to have your eyes open. And you got to start looking for it. That's how I created the role that I had, because I kept looking for the next opportunity. How can I add more value? How can I put myself in a position where I become a very valuable resource for the company, because I can do this, or I could do that, or I could go speak, or I could go pitch this deal, or I can move over here, or I can do that, or I can create, like I started putting myself in all these different places in the company so that I could create a ton of value so that Grant would be willing to stroke a check, which is number 5. So to end up with the perfect opportunity, number 5 is you need to work a deal. You need to work the deal. Now, the deal for me in the company, because I had done the first 4 things right on this list, and I had come in, I got in the company during the right time. I wasn't impatient, right? Like I worked for Grant for 3.5 years before I got my deal, right? So for 3.5 years, almost 4 years, I was showing up, I was doing the right thing, I was helping the company grow, I was becoming that invaluable team member. 3.5 years I was doing that. So then when it came time to actually work the deal, the value I had on me started changing. And so this is where you make a decision of how committed you are to the company. And what I would suggest for you is that you guys tie yourself down to the success of the entire company, okay? Because that's what I did. I get paid off what the company does, because I'm, number 1, am committed. Number 2, I know where the future of the company is going. I have confidence that the company is going to continue to grow because I want it to. Like, I want it to. Grant wants it to. Like, when you get people that actually want to push something and grow something, then in the future, there's some type of idea that there's going to be growth attached to it. And I knew that, like, as the company grew and there are more things that come on, I was going to be involved in more of those things. And so in order for me to, to benefit from the lift of the entire organization, Grant and I worked out a deal where I get paid off a percentage of the company. So that is what you want to get to. You want to get to the point where the owner is paying you off a percentage of the company, so that when the company continues to grow and do better, you do. And if you do that over time and the company continues to grow and grow and grow, then you end up with a 7-figure income at a young age, and that, like, that was the game changer. And now let me tell you something. When I transferred from my role as sales manager, if you want to call that, to VP of sales, we had this title change, compensation change. At the time, I had, like, I don't know, 290 accounts or something like that. My residual income on those accounts was like $35,000 a month is what I was making in residuals. That means I've got a book of business, they're paying every single month, and I'm making $35,000 a month without selling a new deal. So without going out, making a phone call, selling a new deal, I'm getting a check for $35,000. That's the value of a residual compensation plan. Is it takes some time to scale into it, but with volume of transactions and time, you end up in a situation where you're like, boom, I got a substantial residual income without me selling anything new, right? So what I had to do was I've got this $35,000 a month income, I had to go backwards. We agreed on a percentage, and then I had to, it actually took my income back. But I knew I was committed because this was the right opportunity. They were growing. I was getting tons of responsibility. The owner wanted to grow, and I continued to have the opportunity to learn new things. So I'm like, man, I'm gonna drop the anchor. I'm gonna set in here, and I'm gonna go along for the ride. And so a lot of people go, oh man, how'd you end up in the role? How'd you do this? How'd you do that? Man, dude, I constantly was trying to create the next thing for me, to create more value in the role, to learn more so that like I could become somebody that would be invaluable to the company. And 9 years later, I'm the president of the company. So it doesn't happen overnight. The first big shift didn't happen until 3 or 4 years. And then it was building and growing and focusing on all these different divisions of the company and partnerships and it took some time, but you can get rich working for somebody else. I just want to tell you that. Like, you can get rich working for somebody else. A lot of people out there say, man, if you ever want to get rich, if you want to make money, if you want to be financially free, you got to become an entrepreneur. You got to start your own company. It's bullshit. You got to do these things the right way. Maybe you want to be your own boss, but if you want to be your own boss, make sure you're doing it for the right reasons, right? We got some callers. Who we got, Natalie?
Tell them to call us.
Oh, yeah. Tell them to call. Oh, yeah. 305-865-8668. 305, you were waving to me. 305-865-8668. Call if you have questions. Happy to take a few of them before we wrap up. 305-865-8668. We're talking about the perfect job. If you want to call in right now and ask a couple questions, I can tell you if you're in a good job opportunity or not. So make the call, and we'll go through a few of those questions. So don't forget, Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas, Nevada, February 21st, 22nd, 23rd. We have a special deal going right now for VIP seats that include a hotel for all 3 nights of your stay. It's at the same hotel that we're doing the event at. It's the same hotel we're all staying at. So the networking opportunities in that hotel are going to be crazy because there's going to be 11,000 people there running around with 10X hats and 10X flags and 10X shirts and 10X jackets. And these are all the people who you can identify and profile as a freak who wants to do something big in their life. So just grab somebody with one of those hats. Forbes magazine called it the #1 conference to attend for networking. So without a doubt, some unparalleled networking opportunities compared to everything out there. So, Natalie, we got somebody?
We've got Sean on the line.
Sean, from where? You didn't get that, did you? Sean, what's going on?
What's going on? How are you?
Dude, I'm great. How are you?
I can't complain. Nobody will listen.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm 24 years old. I work for the #1 pool company in the United States. Right now I'm a sales supervisor, or not sales supervisor, I'm a construction supervisor. And I'm just trying to touch base, in regards to where I'm at and what you think of the position I'm in and where I can go with it.
Yeah, so how many employees are in the company?
There's probably, I would say, 115 employees.
115 employees?
Yes, sir.
And of those 115 employees, how many of them are in construction supervisor roles?
In the Tampa office, we have 5 construction supervisors. In Texas, I believe we have about 15. In California, I believe we have another 3 or 4. And as of right now, we plan to keep growing. And, we're hoping to expand in South Florida. So the number of employees is going to grow, and the number of supervisors are going to grow.
So here's what I would do. Number one, I would look at, and this is a great scenario, Sean, because the #1 pool company in the world or in the country, and 115 employees, this would fall outside of that #1 piece, which is they're doing $2 to $5 million because this company's probably doing 100 or 150 million or something like that. I don't know.
Yes, sir.
So now what you need to figure out in this company is, out of the people that do your job, how do you differentiate yourself so that you can like stand head and shoulders above the rest? Like what are the metrics that you need to impact to be like, dude, this guy Sean, like the owner knows you by first name. He's calling you on a regular basis, acknowledging you for how great that you're doing. Because Sean is the guy that gets jobs done early. He's the guy that gets jobs done under budget. And he's the guy who the teams or the employees enjoy working with the most. And he's a great leader and he represents the company well. You got to start focusing on that as your move. Like what you need to be asking yourself that question every single day. What can I do today? Not just to be a little bit better than the rest of the construction supervisors, but how do I become so great in this role that when you look back and the folks from the company or head office are looking at all of the construction supervisors, they're like, without a doubt, Sean is our top guy. He's our top guy because he gets jobs done, he gets them early, he gets them done under budget, and he's a guy that actually after every job, he goes 12 houses in each direction and prospects for new business. And because of him and his prospecting efforts, even as a construction supervisor, the company did another $3 million in revenue last year.
Yes, sir.
Like that's the kind of thing you need to be thinking with, because then what'll happen, and again, I don't know the company or the way it's set up or anything like that, but that'll put you in a position where you're like, okay, now I'm head and shoulders the top dog, and that's going to put you in a position of leverage to get a different deal than everybody else. Now, with 115 employees, maybe your deal, you're not getting an equity deal, and it's not structured like that because it is a pretty successful company already. So they're probably going to be less inclined to do that. But what you need to think with is out of 115 employees, to be that difference maker, that if the company lost you, it would be devastating to them.
Okay.
That's what you got to be fine. And I don't know what your day looks like every day, but I know if you're a construction supervisor, your job is to get builds done on time and within the budget. So if those are two key metrics for you, then get them done early and get them done under budget. And then on top of that, generate extra revenue by prospecting the neighborhood around you and bringing new business to the company, and do that better than everybody else. Because then if you end up being the top construction supervisor, you're getting jobs done earlier than anyone else, you're under budget more than anyone else, and you're bringing revenue to the company, they're like, dude, this guy's a freaking beast. He's a monster. We have to do something so different for him to make sure that he doesn't leave and go start his own pool company. Because you're going to end up in a situation, if you do all of those things, where you start getting recognized, and you're going to feel it. You'll know. Like, you'll know when you start delivering so much to the company that they're like, wow, man, like, they have you training people. They have other construction supervisors calling you, asking you for advice on how you do bing, bang, that or the other thing. They have sales guys calling you, trying to figure out like what you know that's different. Then you're going to either do one of two things. Number one, you're going to go get a deal where they pay you what you're worth to the company, and they don't want you to leave, or you're going to go start your own company.
Yes, sir.
That is the flow.
I hear it, man, and I appreciate you giving me those kind words, and for being as young as I am, I'm goal driven, I'm determined, I'm motivated, and listening to that is just open my eyes up a little bit more, and I need to branch myself off to be not only a good supervisor but best supervisor in the company. So, like you said, people start calling me, asking me questions on how I'm getting these things done, how I'm staying under budget. And, I appreciate, taking your time out of your day and just giving me some kind words. I appreciate it. For
sure, man. You got it. If it's to be, it's up to me, dude. It's all in your hands. You're at 100% in control of this. So as long as you make the commitment and you keep rolling, you're gonna freaking crush it. So good luck to you. Next caller.
Yes, sir.
All right, you have Billy on the line from New Jersey.
Billy, what's happening, man?
Hey, Jared, this is Billy from South Jersey.
My man.
Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, thanks for being on the show.
My question is this. I'm having a hard time sometimes deciding what's the difference between a flow that I shouldn't abandon yet and just picking the one vehicle. And so I'll give you a little, just a concise background. I was an electrician by trade. I was a good one. And that introduced me to one of my premium clients ended up investing in a farm business of mine, talked me into going full-time. And the farm business turned out to be, it worked and it was money, but it was a lot of work for the money. But between me being a good electrician and between me, he liked the way that I ran that business. He brought me into his livelihood, his business. So he's in, something, kind of something to do with litigation and stuff. I want to get too into detail, just out of respect for him.
Sure.
But I've more or less made myself this guy's apprentice. Every nook and cranny I find, I try to squeeze in there. Anything I can try to do or learn to do, I try to do it.
Yeah.
I still have the farm business, but I've basically, it runs on it. If it stops tomorrow, I won't stop it. Like, it could die tomorrow. I won't resuscitate it. I try not to let it be much of a distraction.
Right.
And that's pretty good. I still do some electric work, though, because there's people who just only trust me to do it in my area.
Yeah.
And so should I do a Saturday a week and try to make as much money as I can? Should I just only take a really sweet job when someone's waving money in my face? Or should I just abandon it and focus on the one vehicle?
Well, it depends if you're going to abandon that. So farm business is on autopilot, right?
It's more or less a hobby. It's effectively abandoned for the purpose of this conversation. So
do you generate any income from it, and does it take any of your time?
It takes almost none of my time, and in the summer, it will generate a small amount of income for me.
Okay. So that's kind of a moot point, right? A moot point?
Yeah, the farm.
Okay.
Basically,
so the big question is do you take your weekends and do electric work on them, or do you take your weekends and focus on how you can become more valuable to this mentor that you have?
Kind of. I mean, I also can. So a lot of times I do this work remotely. It's in coffee shops and things like that, and it's a lot of phone calls and a lot of investigation. And so, like, I can set up a crew of guys on a job and then go around the corner to the Starbucks and work and get the work done elsewhere, and then just check and make sure the guys did the job right and make a commission on an electrical contract, and I still got my other work done that day. Yeah,
I mean, like, I don't think you need to abandon any of that. Like, I think you keep doing what you're doing. Like, you never want to, you have to do whatever possible not to abandon flows of income that are working, unless the thing that you're doing is taking time and energy and effort and resources that if you poured into the primary flow of income, you would see a greater return on that investment of time and energy. So, like, for example, let's say I work for Grant and, I work 60 hours a week or something like that. Let's say that I have a network marketing opportunity on the side, okay? And that network marketing opportunity takes my entire weekend and my nights from 7 to 10 p.m. And I'm generating $3,000 a month. If I'm making $30,000 a month working for Grant and I'm spending that much time to make an additional $3,000, then what I say is, okay, hey, look, if I came home and from 7 to 10 I worked on Grant stuff, and then on the weekends, instead of doing network marketing stuff, I worked on Grant stuff, do I have an opportunity to get my income from $30,000 to $40,000 and become better at what I'm doing, become more connected with our industry, become more valuable to the organization that I'm with, and thus the return on money is $10K a month versus $3K a month? Like, that's the thing you want to be careful of, because a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll add an additional flow of income that is completely unrelated to what they're doing and requires actual attention and energy and effort, that if they just simply directed that to their primary flow of income, that they would actually get more of a lift from the added time and energy and effort and creativity. They'd get more of a lift than they would by doing a separate thing that's disconnected, that takes them out of the mental space that they're in on a daily basis to chase some rabbit down some other hole. So, but if it's not a drain for you, and if there's not a big upswing in opportunity, then it doesn't sound like it's stressing you out or overwhelming you. So I would just keep doing it, and I'd try to find a way to make more money doing it, and
well,
focus on.
let me ask you about that then. because I think that I approached the side hustle, which would be the electric, as the same I was approached my main thing. Whereas I'm like, okay, well, how do I build it? How do I, like, instead of waiting for inbound calls, instead of waiting for leads, I'll make the phone ring. I'll go find the work. And that's how I ended up, instead of just waiting for jobs to come to me and then letting them get done and making money on them while I continue to work on my main thing, I was saying, I'll take a Saturday, sit and do outbound calls or just fill up my schedule with estimates or something. And that seemed like a drain on my main thing. It seemed like I was coming in on Sunday or Monday disoriented, like having to just spend time just figuring out where I was on my other thing. And it was diminishing returns. It wasn't the same as waiting for easy money.
Yeah, so that's a different story. So if you're telling me the story like that, then I'm saying, dude, stick on the main thing and try to find additional ways to monetize the primary flow. The other thing is you start training people in the electric position, train somebody, say, hey, look, dude, I'm going to give you, like, the purpose of this show is the right opportunity. What if you created the right opportunity for somebody because you were willing to pay them not as much as they could make on their own, but enough that they wouldn't want to take on the risk to go try to do their own thing, right? But because they were doing the work, almost all of the work, then you could take a smaller piece, you could pay them more, and you could start building that out. And then you put them into a leadership role, and then they become either you pay them a percentage of the business or they become an equity partner in the business or something like that. And then you continue to give them the opportunity. That way you're making a little sliver off of somebody manning something, growing something, and doing it on your own. You just have to find the right person. And I believe that in that space, there's probably a ton of people who are trying to get started. They're trying to do their own thing. They've been working for somebody for a long time, and they've been thinking about doing their own thing or starting their own company for a while. But they don't have the, taking that jump and trying to do your own thing is a big one. It's a risk. People get scared of it. So, maybe you could provide that opportunity to the perfect person, and then that electrical company could blow up and have you not really hardly involved in it.
Okay. I understand that.
Yeah. So I don't know. Those would be the two scenarios in my mind. Thanks for the
Before
call, dude.
I want to give a quick testimonial.
Let's hear it.
I know you have people who watch your YouTube content, and they might be thinking about getting the Cardone University. I did it. It was like a year and a half ago. 3 days into training, this door opened up for me, and I have pieces on the chessboard to get to a big income this year. I never thought I would make the money I'm making today.
Dude, that's awesome.
That door opened 3 days into training.
You made a commitment, man. That's what happens. You start making commitments, magic starts happening around you. Appreciate the call, brother. Thanks for being a member of Cardone University and for watching the show. All right, guys, 10X Growth Conference. You want to get around guys like Billy. You want to come meet Kevin Hart. You want to come see Magic Johnson, Scooter Braun, Marie Forleo, Elena Cardone, Grant Cardone, Brandon Dawson, Pete Vargas, Ryan Dice, John Nigerian, Snoop Dogg, Rick Ross. Dude, it's going to be crazy. Get your VIP seats. We're going to include a hotel. We got a handful of these left. 10xgrowthcon.com. 3 days. Las Vegas will change your life. Great experience, great opportunity to connect and network with people. And, if you want to get big things, you got to get around people doing big things. And if you want to make more, then you got to be able to do more. And the 10X Growth Conference is the best place for you to get connected with people from around the country doing just that, to provide you with support and encouragement, connection and network and masterminds, so that you can get more successful and do the things you want to do quicker, faster, better. Remember, the only people who condemn the hustle are the ones who've already given up on the hustle themselves. We'll see you next week.
When that opportunity knocks and you can become something successful in life, you got to push forward. keep motivating the world, man. Give it up for Snoop Dogg. Y'all feeling good out there? Somebody make some noise. This is how you run a conference. If you feel like we're over-delivering to you, let the world know. Woo! Oh my God, man, do I have a big announcement for you, my friends, my 10X friends from around the world, boys and girls, raised by a single mother. Yes, that's me. Grew up with a daddy that wasn't there for him. Yeah, that's me. Super massive success after starting a career selling shoes. Yes, that is me. And a major proponent of the 10X movement. Yes, that's me, but it's also one other person. I'm so proud to announce Kevin Hart, movie star, comedian. I say his name and you know it, Kevin Hart. I invited him to be at our 10X Growth Conference. Got confirmation today that he will be there. And let me tell you why I picked him, okay? Guy comes from nothing. Used everything against him, turned it, flipped it to make him who he is today. Name is known worldwide. Tremendous energy, tremendous discipline, tremendous work ethic. Dude, Kevin Hart is a bad man. And I'm so excited to have Kevin Hart at the 2020 10X Growth Conference. See you in Vegas.